If you would like to continue on with the notes, this is our second video to talk about page 28 in your notebook. So these are the next 4 problems. And then I really hope you're watching this video, those of you who've continued on the notes, because I made a slight mistake. I don't know if you caught it on page 27. I forgot to write that 2 down. So let's see if those of you can listen to this video, can help the people out who didn't move on to video 2. But anyway, I'm sorry about that, and let's move on to the next page. Sorry that I forgot to write that 2 that I canceled with my 10 and my 5. So here we go for the next page. We have 4 more examples, and then you can start your homework for today. I'm going to again write out my polynomial so that I have kind of every term written out. I just think it's a little easier to compare each than if I just write one divide line. So you might see it written out like this: 4x to the 4th minus 16x cubed plus 20x squared, and the whole thing divided by 4x squared. Just mentally for me, I need to know that every single one of those terms needs to separately be divided, and so that's why I write it out separately like this. 4x to the 4th divided by 4x squared minus 16x cubed divided by that 4x squared, and plus 20x squared divided by 4x squared. Just for me mentally, I don't want to cross this out and then not be able to read it once I get to my next term or even my last term. So if you write it out separately, it might just be slightly easier. Now let's just start canceling things that we can cancel. For example, these 4s, those cancel out. Your x to the 4th divided by x squared would be x squared. You have 2 more x's in the top, so they stay up top. Minus 16 divided by 4, that's going to be 4 over 1. So my coefficient here is going to be a 4. X cubed divided by x squared, if I cancel out what these have in common, x times x times x, and here x times x. If I cancel out 2 from the bottom with 2 from the top, I'm left with 1x left over, plus 20 divided by 4 is 5. And here, my x's are going to cancel out completely, so I have no x left over. This is your answer for number 5 in the notes. Number 6 here, moving on. Again, I'm going to rewrite each term individually and then divide by this 2x squared y cubed. So I have 12x to the 6, y to the 3rd. I'm going to divide that by 2 x squared y cubed plus 6x cubed y to the 4th. That's going to get divided by 2x squared y cubed. And my last term, 8x to the 5th, y to the 5th, divided by 2x squared y to the 3rd. Again, we're going to do a process similar to here. 12 divided by 2 is going to give us 6. If I have 6 x's on the top and 2 on the bottom, I'm going to have 4 more left over on the top. My y cubed and y cubed, those are going to cancel out. So I have 6x to the 4th for my first term. My second term here, 6 divided by 2 is going to give us 3. X cubed divided by x squared means I have 1x left over on the top. Y to the 4th, y cubed. I have 1 more y left over on the top, so my term is a 3xy. I have a subtract sign linking it to my next term. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X to the 5th compared to x squared, if I have 5 x's written out on the top, and I have 2 written out on the bottom, and I do my canceling, I will have cancel 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 here. I have 3 left over on the top, and y to the 5th over y cubed, I have 2 extra left on the top when I do my canceling. So 4x cubed y squared as my last term for this example. If you want to, pause the video now and try the next 2, and then you can kind of scroll ahead to see if you can get the last 2 on your own. Or you can continue to watch. It's up to you what you want to do. The next polynomial here, I'm going to write out again each term. 12x to the 4th, y to the 6th, minus 20x to the 5th, y to the 3rd. Hold on a second.
Attention students. Time is now 3:30, and unless you are with an adult in a supervised club, sport, or activity, you must exit the building at this time. or activity should leave the building. Thank you.
Okay, so again, canceling out a 12 and a 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 4 x's on the top, 1 on the bottom. I have 3 left over on the top when I cancel. 6 y's on the top, 2 on the bottom. If I cancel out my 2 from the bottom, I'm left with 2 more on the top. So my first term is a 3x cubed y squared. My linking sign here is subtract. 20 divided by 4 is 5. There are 4 more x's on the top. There is 1 more y on the top. My next linking sign is a plus sign. 8 divided by 4 is 2. I have 5 x's more on the top, and I have 6 more y's on the top. This is your answer for number, I guess that would be number 7. 8 and 2, double checking, 6 and 1, 5. Here, 3 and 2, 1, 5 and 4. Okay, yeah, looks good. All right, here's the last one. This one I'm not going to rewrite, but again, I want you to think about dividing each term separately. 27 divided by 9 is 3. If you have x to the 4th on the top, x to the 3rd on the bottom, we have 1 more x on the top. Y to the 5th, y to the 4th, there is 1 more y left over. And I don't need to write over anything because I canceled out my 9 and my x to the 3rd and y to the 4th. I'm going to connect it with a subtract sign now. 18 divided by 9 is 2. X to the 9th and x to the 3rd, I have 6 x's more on the top. Y to the 4th, y to the 4th, those are going to cancel, so I'm going to have no y's left over in my answer after division. Plus 45 divided by 9, that's 5. My x cubed divided by x cubed, those are going to cancel out. And y to the 7th over y to the 4th, if I cancel out 4 y's from the top with these 4 from the bottom, I'm left with 3 left over. That's my last example for the note sheet. You can go ahead and get started on the practice pages in your notebook on page, I believe it is 30, 31, and 32. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch back up with you next week.